Have you ever felt like your joints aren't quite as forgiving as they used to be? Maybe you went for a walk or tried a little workout, and afterward, you thought, well, that didn't feel great. You're not alone. Our bodies change with time, that's completely normal, but that doesn't mean we have to stop moving or give up on staying strong and active. In fact, movement is one of the best things we can do for ourselves after 65, as long as we're doing it the right way. Now, you might be thinking, I've always done this kind of workout, why change now? That's a fair question. But here's the thing, what worked well for you at 40 or even 50 might not be doing you any favors now. Some exercises, even ones that seem perfectly fine, can actually put extra strain on your knees, shoulders, back, or worse, increase your risk of injury when your body's just not as quick to recover. In this video, we're going to talk about 5 common exercises that people over 65 should avoid, or at least approach with a bit of caution. But don't worry, I'm not going to tell you to just sit still. I'll also walk you through safer, smarter alternatives you can do instead. These will still give you the strength, balance, and energy you're looking for, just with a whole lot less wear and tear on your body. So, let's start with one that might surprise you, the good old-fashioned sit-up. You've probably done your fair share of these in your lifetime, on the bedroom floor, at the gym, maybe even as part of a morning routine. The problem with sit-ups as we age is that they put a lot of pressure on the spine, especially the lower back. When you're lying flat and crunching up over and over again, you're flexing your spine in a way that can actually aggravate discs and cause back pain. And let's be honest, if your back goes out, just getting out of bed the next morning can feel like a major event. But don't toss the idea of core strength out the window just yet. A strong core is vital for balance, posture, and avoiding falls. So instead of sit-ups, try something a bit gentler but just as effective, the dead bug exercise. It's a silly name, I know, but it's a fantastic core workout that keeps your spine stable while you strengthen the muscles that support it. You lie on your back, arms up, knees bent at 90 degrees like you're a bug flipped on its back. Then, slowly extend one arm and the opposite leg, then bring them back and repeat on the other side. Controlled movement, no jerking, no strain, and your back will thank you. Now, let's talk about another common move that can sneakily cause trouble, high-impact cardio like jumping jacks or running on pavement. A lot of folks are told that cardio is key to heart health, and it absolutely is. But pounding the pavement with every step can be hard on your knees, hips, and even your lower back. If you're over 65 and already dealing with a bit of arthritis or joint pain, those repeated impacts can cause inflammation to flare up fast. That doesn't mean you should stop moving. But instead of high-impact workouts, think low-impact but high-reward. A great alternative here is marching in place or step-touch exercises. These keep your heart rate up, your body moving, and your joints happy. If you want to take it a step further, water aerobics or even a brisk walk on a soft surface like a track or a trail can be excellent. The goal is to protect your joints while still getting the benefits of movement, and these gentler forms of cardio do exactly that. Here's something else I want you to keep in mind. Exercise isn't just about burning calories or breaking a sweat. After 65, it's about keeping our independence, our confidence, and our ability to move freely through life. Whether that means chasing your grandkids around the yard or just getting up from your favorite chair with ease, that's what we're working toward. Now, while we're talking about protecting the body, let's address a big one, deep squats with weights. Now don't get me wrong, squats are a great functional movement. They mimic everyday actions like sitting down and standing up. But deep squats, especially with added weight, can be risky if your knees or hips aren't in tip-top shape. The deeper you go, the more pressure you put on those joints, and if your form slips even a little, you're looking at a strain, a pull, or worse. So what's a better way to keep those legs and glutes strong? Try a modified chair squat. Stand in front of a sturdy chair with your feet shoulder width apart. Lower yourself slowly down to sit, then stand back up, using your muscles, not momentum. It might seem simple, but when done right, this move can build strength, improve balance, and reduce the risk of falls. And best of all, no heavy weights, no risky positions, just safe, effective movement that helps you do what you need to do every single day. You see, the idea isn't to stop exercising. It's to train smarter. Our bodies are wise. They've carried us through decades of experiences, challenges, and milestones. And they deserve care, respect, and movement that supports, not strains, them. So now that we've talked about core strength, cardio, and leg work, let's keep that momentum going. Because there are still a couple of exercises you may want to rethink, and I've got some great alternatives to share for those, too. We've already looked at a few moves that might be doing more harm than good, and hopefully, you're starting to see that staying active after 65 isn't about doing less, it's about doing it smarter. The truth is, your body still has so much potential. It's not about slowing down or giving up, it's about adapting in a way that keeps you strong, mobile, and feeling your best. And that brings us to another common mistake a lot of people don't even realize they're making. Let's talk about overhead shoulder presses. These are the exercises where you lift weights, usually dumbbells or a bar, above your head, either while standing or sitting. Now, in theory, they sound great. They're supposed to strengthen your shoulders and arms, and they definitely can. But here's the catch: as we age, our shoulder joints tend to lose a bit of their natural flexibility. That means overhead movements can start to feel tight, uncomfortable, or even painful, especially if you've had a frozen shoulder or rotator cuff issue in the past. What's worse is that people often push through the discomfort, thinking they just need to work through it. But when it comes to the shoulders, that kind of thinking can lead to inflammation, pinched nerves, or even tears in the muscles. That's not something you want to mess with. Instead of overhead presses, a much safer, and still very effective, alternative is doing lateral raises with light weights or resistance bands. Here's how you do it. Stand or sit with your arms down by your sides, holding light dumbbells or even soup cans if that's what you have around. Slowly lift your arms out to the side, just to shoulder height, then lower them back down with control. No need to go above your shoulders. You're still working those important muscles, your deltoids, your upper back, but without putting unnecessary strain on the joint. And if even that feels like too much, start with no weights at all. Just getting the movement pattern right can do wonders. Another great option is to work your shoulders with wall pushes or wall circles. They seem easy, but don't underestimate them. Place your palms flat against the wall and press in, engaging your shoulders and chest. Or make slow, controlled circles with your hands while keeping that contact with the wall. These movements help improve mobility, blood flow, and strength, all while being gentle on your joints. And now, let's move on to an exercise that many people have done for years, often without realizing how risky it can be over time: toe touches with a rounded back. You know the one. You bend forward, try to reach your toes, maybe bounce a little to go deeper. It's a classic stretch that we were all taught to do back in school. But here's the problem: when you round your spine like that, especially if your hamstrings are tight or your back isn't very flexible, you put a lot of pressure on the vertebrae and the discs in your lower back. That might not be an issue when you're 20 or 30, but past 60, it can start to cause or worsen existing back problems. And if you're bouncing or forcing the movement, there's an even bigger risk of pulling a muscle or damaging a disc. The intention, to stretch your hamstrings and loosen up, is good. But the method? Not so much. A better way to stretch your lower body safely is to try seated hamstring stretches. Sit on the edge of a sturdy chair, extend one leg out in front of you with your heel on the ground and toes pointing up. Keep your back straight, and gently lean forward from the hips, not the back, until you feel a stretch behind your leg. You're getting all the benefit of that stretch without the spinal strain. Plus, being seated gives you extra stability, so you're not risking a fall or overbalancing. Another option that works well is lying hamstring stretches. You can do these by lying flat on your back, bending one knee, and pulling it gently toward your chest with your hands or a towel. Again, you're giving those muscles a good stretch while keeping your spine in a neutral, supported position. I really want to emphasize something here: there's no shame in modifying your movements. It's not about what you used to be able to do. It's about doing what supports your body now. You've earned the right to take care of yourself, to move in a way that keeps you energized and pain-free. And here's something else worth remembering. Sometimes it's not the exercise itself that's the problem, it's the way we do it. Too fast, too heavy, too often. If you ever feel a sharp pain, instability, or lingering discomfort after a workout, that's your body's way of saying, hey, something's not quite right here. Listen to that voice. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. By making small adjustments like the ones we've talked about, choosing smarter core exercises, protecting your joints during cardio, strengthening your shoulders without straining them, you're setting yourself up for better mobility, better energy, and more confidence in everyday life. Think about how good it feels to get up from a chair without effort, to lift a grocery bag without wincing, or to walk down the street with a sense of ease. These aren't small things, they're everything. They're your independence, your freedom. Next, we'll take a look at the final piece of this puzzle, one more commonly used exercise that can pose a hidden risk after 65, and of course, I'll give you a safer, smarter way to stay strong in its place. Let's keep going, because this last point might be the most overlooked of all. We've talked about exercises that strain your core, your joints, and your shoulders, but there's one more common move that often gets passed around as a must-do, especially in gyms or fitness videos. I'm talking about planks. Now, at first glance, planks seem like a great idea. They're meant to build core strength, support posture, and help with stability. And yes, they can do all of that. But here's the challenge. Holding your body in a rigid, horizontal position for an extended period of time requires a lot of muscular control and endurance. If your form isn't perfect, and let's be honest, that's hard to maintain, even for younger folks, you can quickly end up straining your lower back, shoulders, or wrists. And that strain doesn't always show up right away. You might feel fine during the plank, but the next morning? A stiff back or sore joints might tell a different story. So, if you've been doing planks and wondering why your back hurts more than your abs, you're not imagining things. That exercise might be asking more from your body than it should at this stage in life. But don't worry, you can still build a strong, stable core without putting yourself into a plank position. One fantastic alternative is the bird dog exercise. It's simple, safe, and just as effective when done right. Start on all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Then, slowly extend one arm forward and the opposite leg back. Hold for a few seconds, then return to the starting position and switch sides. The key here is control. Don't rush it. Focus on keeping your back flat and your movement smooth. This builds strength in your core, glutes, and lower back, without any of the downward pressure a plank puts on your spine or wrists. Another great substitute, especially if you prefer staying off the floor, is a standing core march. Stand tall, tighten your core like you're bracing for a gentle punch, and slowly lift one knee at a time, tapping your hand to the opposite knee as you go. It's a great way to engage your midsection, challenge your balance a bit, and keep things low impact. The bigger picture here is this: there are always alternatives. You don't have to force yourself through exercises that hurt or feel wrong just because they're popular or because you used to do them 20 years ago. Your body has changed, and that's not a bad thing. It just means your routine should evolve with you. Now, let's take a breath and look at everything we've touched on today. We talked about sit-ups, those hard-on-the-spine core crushers, and replaced them with safer movements like the dead bug. We looked at high-impact cardio and swapped it for low-impact, joint-friendly moves that still get your heart pumping. We traded risky deep squats with modified chair squats, and switched out overhead shoulder presses for lateral raises and wall exercises. We also put toe-touch stretches aside in favor of safe, seated hamstring work. And finally, we found that even something as simple as a plank can be too much, and that better, safer ways to work the core are right at your fingertips. Here's what I hope you take away from all this: you are not too old to exercise. You are not too late to start moving better, feeling stronger, and living with more ease. In fact, the opposite is true. This is exactly the right time to focus on your health. Because the more you care for your body now, the more freedom and confidence you'll have in your daily life. That means fewer falls, fewer aches, and more of the moments that make life meaningful, like playing with grandkids, traveling, or just walking comfortably through the grocery store. And remember, exercise doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. You don't have to move fast, sweat buckets, or push through the pain. That old idea that pain equals progress? Let's leave that behind. The real goal now is consistency, comfort, and function. Small changes can make a huge difference. Just swapping out one risky move for a safer alternative can keep you on your feet, feeling strong, and living with fewer limits. And if you're ever unsure whether something is right for your body, don't be afraid to ask. Talk to your doctor, a physical therapist, or even a trusted trainer who has experience working with older adults. You deserve advice that's tailored to you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What exercises have worked well for you lately? Have you ever had to stop doing a certain movement because it just didn't feel right anymore? Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. I read every one, and it's such a joy to hear how others are staying strong and active. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. There's so much more coming your way, with practical tips, gentle workouts, and encouragement to help you stay active and independent at any age. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself, listen to your body, and remember, you're not just working out, you're investing in your health, your freedom, and your joy. Here's to living your best life, strong, steady, and full of vitality, no matter how many candles are on the birthday cake.